The US is apparently pushing, this seems like good news, we'll undercut it soon, but it seems like good news, is pushing for a sort of global minimum corporate tax. And Biden is apparently behind this. Over 130 countries have now agreed to it, this minimum global tax proposal of 15%. So don't get too excited about that. But what is this about? What is the point of setting up some sort of minimum tax like this? Well, it was proposed by the US, but is now widespread support. I mean, that's a majority of all the countries in the world. Would force technology giants like Amazon and Facebook and other big global businesses to pay taxes in countries where their goods or services are sold, even if they have no physical presence there. It also includes plans to prevent the shifting of profits into tax havens by tech giants and other multinationals by enabling signatory countries to tax the world's largest countries based on revenues generated within their borders. So there's a lot of ways that they've sort of tried to get around paying their tax burden by pretending that they're not in a country that they sell things in, because they're multinational corporations. They set up their headquarters in the country with the lowest taxes to get away from it, even though they're functionally operating in other countries that theoretically have higher taxes that won't apply to them. So what's interesting about this, Jeff, I think, is that several of the countries that have signed on to this are ones with low or zero corporate tax that have been used as tax havens by these major multinational corporations, including the Cayman Islands and Gibraltar. They're signatories to the deal. So that is pretty impressive. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot that we find out about loopholes and things like that. But this does seem like this could fix some of the worst excesses of this sort of bizarre loophole searching for corporate behavior.
Yeah, I'm sure some of those countries, those signatory countries that you mentioned, would welcome some of that additional revenue from some of these corporations that have essentially taken advantage of them for all this time. So yeah, I think it's a great idea. I would actually do, higher, but again, that's just wishful thinking for me. Getting them to agree to at least a floor of 15%, it seems like a fairly big deal, and I don't see a lot of people other than this show talking about it.
Yeah, well, I only found out about it earlier today. So hopefully it'll get picked up if it actually goes into effect. It is a low amount, obviously 15%. Although bear in mind, I would be perfectly happy with some corporations in the US paying 15% because right now they pay zero. So we'll see about their ability to evade even this low tax. But something like this, a global minimum corporate tax rate, global minimum standards in terms of worker pay and benefits and things like that. That is how you get to an actual equal playing field that benefits the international working class, and we are very far away from that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.